Good day to you. Welcome back to Ground Zero Salem. It's Pat. It has been almost a full month since I've uploaded anything. Crazy ass hiatus. It's been past the 1,000 subscriber mark for me for months now. And I've been kind of wanting to do one of these updates about just reflecting on my YouTube experiences, the whole journey, as overused as that term is getting, about me arriving here, talking about how I feel about this whole new hobby of mine. Recently new, it's been over a year. Before I open up that can of worms, we're listening to the Undertones. This is like a 2-disc anthology. For those of you not in the know, they were an Irish punk band that kind of started in the 77 era. Very power pop. I listened to these guys a lot. Probably right after my last year of Our Lord videos, like late 99, early 2000. Starting to crave a lot of stuff that was a little bit off the beaten path from the brutality that I was subjecting myself to. I got really into these guys and Depeche Mode and stuff like that, but I just saw it in the rack and I was like, for whatever reason, this seems like it would be appropriate. It's summer tunes, you know, feeling good kind of music. So I just wanted to do a ramble video, talk about just what I've learned, my feelings on this whole channel, bit of a channel update, a bunch of other shit, just some thoughts, no prayers. So yeah, hit 1,000 subscribers months back, maybe 3 months back, and it's kind of stayed at that, which is fine with me. 1,000 was my goal. I just want to hit that magic number. I've been doing this for a while now. I've made a lot of great friends as a result. You know, I'm not going to list people off. You know who you are. Just from watching people's channels, sharing stuff, having some great intelligent discourse with people out there that are into music, not completely limited to brutal extreme metal or hardcore, but other stuff as well. I originally got into this because of that viral 20 bands that got me into death metal, 20 records that got me into death metal video that was started by Eli back about a year and a half ago almost, and it led me down this path. I knew at a certain point it would slow down. You know, there would be a honeymoon period. I tend to go through phases of stuff, and a phase that I'm in now is music's just kind of background stuff to me, to take up my time, occupy my mind while I'm working or driving, which is when a lot of people do their music listening. A lot of this is taken up by podcasts for me. I've been a big fan of like several podcasts for years now. I'm not like a big Joe Rogan guy or anything like that. I tend to listen to podcasts done by people not for profit. So I'm big on Junk Food Dinner, which is a great B-movie podcast. Illogical Contraption. There's a little kind of mini scene of all these guys that kind of have each other on as guests, ranging from just kind of whatever for a topic, pop culture kind of stuff, conspiracy theory stuff, movies, a lot of entertaining folks. Pool Party Radio, which I think is no more, a bunch more. There's a new one called the Stockberry Dark that's about, it's all hardcore dudes. Scene vets from hardcore, like Rob Lynn from Blood for Blood was on one of them. Singer from Trial was on another, relating paranormal experiences. Fucking check that shit out. Great stuff. Run by this guy Klaus from Shipwrecked and Peter Morrissey from Forced Reality and 100 Demons. And man, it's eye-opening shit. I go through these little weird phases where I get kind of enamored or obsessed with certain things. Like recently it was old video games. Apparently I'm a 14-year-old because I got really into like reading creepypastas for a while, but I like horror fiction. So, you know, now that I've burnt out on lost footage fucking creepypastas like some kind of tween, I'm kind of coming back around to checking out a lot of new music. There's going to be my favorite of 2018 so far kind of video coming up soon. I haven't gone nearly as buck wild with releases this year as I did last. I think I have a stack of like maybe a dozen CDs that are mostly metal, new releases that have come out that I'm excited about checking out. But observations about the YouTube world. I like it. It's funny because I social media as much as anybody else. I've got an Instagram. I've got a Facebook. I'm easy to find, you know, if you want to check out my stuff. Haven't updated my Instagram in Jesus. I do it sporadically. I think I updated it recently, but I'm not the everyday kind of guy for sure. Showing off records and that kind of thing. Facebook, it's purely for just funny shit with me. I don't get into politics. I don't get super personal. If I'm having a bad day, you're not gonna fucking hear about it. And, you know, I've been involved in the little YouTube-averse for, like I said, almost a year and a half now, and it's been an interesting ride. There's such little that I knew about YouTube to begin with. Such a small amount of things. Like, I only used it previous to starting a channel myself for looking up old music videos almost exclusively, like stuff that I used to watch on Headbangers Ball. You know, the occasional random thing. Maybe I'd find a movie or something like that, some weird B movie that wasn't available anywhere else. Since then, I've been thrust into this whole kind of, I guess, scene, for a lack of a better term, or community, if you will. And it's interesting. You know, there's a lot of opinions being bandied about, and that's part of the whole deal, is go and put your face on camera. Unless you're Bog Phantom or Grim Trash Can, you know, somebody that has a has an interesting, unique approach to not just like talking at a fucking camera. Unless you're one of those guys, it's just usually you talking at yourself. You know, looking at your selfie, spouting opinions, showing off records, and that sort of thing. And I think it's interesting. I still enjoy it. Like I said, things have slowed down a little bit for me, mainly due to the fact that I'm sort of in a mellow sort of area, mellow part of my life with music where I'm not quite as rabid, but it always goes like this with me. It goes in flux, goes in waves, you know, where I'll be rabidly trying to pick up everything to where I'm like, okay, cool, what are the heaviest hitters right now? What's the hottest shit? You know, and I'll sample stuff. A lot of going back to classics. Right now I'm in a big project of ripping all my CDs and putting them up on my Dropbox account and just listening to stuff on random. That's kind of my flow at the moment. I'm doing like a 2003 iPod kind of approach to my music diet. Kind of a post-dog move, but it's getting me to kind of trace back to a lot of stuff I haven't checked out in a long time, which I enjoy. And it's interesting. I just like kind of observing the patterns of people that have huge channels, people that have small channels, and just kind of watching people interact. Hot takes seem to be a big thing, and I'm not really so much into talking about what I don't like. Not a diss to anybody, you know, that is strong with their opinions about bands that they think sucks. It's just, I had enough of those fucking arguments in high school and in my early 20s to mid 20s. There's a lot of shit that I don't get, that just completely goes over my head. I don't get the obsession with certain bands, like Converge, for example. You know, people worship the shit out of that band. They're from around here. Very influential, obviously, but they stopped and ended with me with the Saddest Day. That one really long song, killer song. Didn't really give a fuck after that. I'm not about to lambaste people for loving them, though. I know they made a big difference in a lot of people's lives and very influential and blah, blah, blah. But so it's funny because, you know, people have very strong opinions, don't like stuff, go out there, talk about how they don't like stuff. And watching people react to just people having a difference of opinion, you know, or disliking an artist that they happen to enjoy is really funny. I mean, I'm a diehard, no pun intended, fucking Venom fan, but man, people freaking out over younger black metal fans not liking Venom is fucking hilarious. They're a campy band. They never intended really to be anything else. I think they're great. I have pretty much all their really important records. But the really intense, you know, rabid metal fan base is like that. People will swear up and down, you know, that you're a piece of shit because you can't appreciate a classic band. I remember one instance in particular. I was in Philly at this fest, Pointless Fest, that like Tragedy and Ramble, Municipal Waste, a bunch of other bands played. This is like early 2000s. And randomly I got in a conversation with like a train hopper, crusty guy who happened to be a huge Pantera fan. And I was like, yeah, I like Pantera in high school, but I can't stand that shit now. It sucks. And his only reaction was like, no. I was like, what the fuck do you mean, no? He's like, you can't not like Pantera. Dimebag Darrell's such a good guitarist. This like dead-eye fucking 1,000-yard stare. You know, I think Mike's talked about it a bit on his Facebook and on his channel and everything. A man of strong opinions, Mike Seatown. And I just, like, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? I am a little annoyed with the whole people stating opinions as fact, arguing preference. That's fucking annoying. You know, that's something I've hated always since high school. Just because you don't like it don't mean it ain't no good, to quote Mike Muir. But what the fuck ever, you know? If you're stating that something sucks, it can be assumed it's an opinion. So that's funny. There just seems to be this massive butting of heads that people swarm around in the YouTube community about that, and I think that is fucking funny. And, you know, nobody's perfect. I'm not always the happiest guy. I'm not always the most upbeat guy. But at the end of the day, I'm a pretty positive dude. Posy, if you're going to use the hardcore nomenclature. And, so I don't really, personally, I don't really like talking about what I don't like. You know, there's plenty of shit I don't like. I'm not going to waste my time with it. There's too much awesome stuff out there that I'm excited about. And I have limited fucking time, which is also a lot of why content is kind of slow to a trickle here. It's summer. Picking up a lot of extra shifts at my job because people go on vacation and stuff. When I started this channel, my son Griffin was still an infant. He's now running around, talking, we're going outside, doing family stuff all the time. Always a lot of work around the house to be done, so I don't have the time to upload several times a week. And I don't want to do it and try to cram it in there and get a video out just to get a video out, you know. I have no aspirations whatsoever to be a monetized, professionally edited, slick, you know, metal channel. I think that's already been taken up by a lot on YouTube. Kind of funny, slightly off topic, but due to my video game obsession the past couple of months, I was aware of a few bigger YouTubers, like, I mean, James Rolfe was like the OG bigger YouTuber, but all these video game guys, I always thought of like the bigger metal YouTubers having 60,000 or something like that, 30, whatever, down to like 8 or 6,000 to be like a big deal. And that is for people talking about metal records and showing off metal records. I didn't conceptualize that all the people that live off of monetized like video game content as well as other types of channels, like I'm completely new to this, so I had no fucking idea. But regardless, my point is I have no desire to be anything approaching that. Yeah, I mean, I do edit because I tend to stutter a little bit. I try to weed that shit out because it's annoying. You know, I try to trim off the fat. I want shit to look good. I like to research a little bit, not to the point of being a fake ass, but at least double check the shit I know. So at least people aren't getting the wrong information, you know what I mean? So I want it to be good content, but at the same time, I just want it to just be me fucking rapping at you, babbling into a camera phone right now. So, and I'm enjoying it. Things are going to ramp up a little bit within the next couple of weeks. I do have that stack of new releases. I just got along with an order from Bindrune, I got some awesome VCLT from Marty that I'm pretty excited about. Some great records, which was incredibly generous of him. Thank you, Marty. And a ton of reissues. Any time that I hop onto Dark Descent and look at what the Crypt has reissued, there's always 4 or 5 things that I'm like, I need to check this out. So, pile of reissues, including some Crypt stuff, all those Punch and Stench ones that came out a while ago. Got another one coming in the mail. So that's pretty alright, you know. I haven't been watching other people's videos as much lately, tisk tisk to me. But along with not feeling really like listening to music as often, watching people talk about music I haven't been super into lately, but I'm sure that'll come back around. Just kind of, I feel like 1,000 subs was my goal, and after that I was like, cool, I'm just gonna kind of dial it back, you know, and kind of get around to other stuff in my life. So in case you're wondering, it's not that anybody's asked or anything like that, but in case you happen to have been wondering where I've been at, what I've been up to, it's been a busy ass summer. Definitely intend to keep up doing this channel. Do enjoy it. Love talking with everybody, and the discussion is all the reason that I did this. I mean, a lot of us that I think get into this whole YouTube thing have some kind of isolation, whether it's geographical or personal on some tier. And we started doing this because we just wanted to talk about music, you know. I feel to some extent YouTube metal dudes or YouTube record collectors in general get a certain degree of flack from music fans, particularly in the metal scene, that go on Instagram or a message board of some kind, and like all these dorks with their records, they don't even know what they're talking about, you know. And it's not like I consider myself anything approaching a music journalist. I like to put it out there, the stuff that I'm excited about, and just talk to people about. It's very amusing to me how people throw out record collection shit like crazy on a message board, or put stuff on Instagram, and then go on and talk a bunch of shit, and, you know, throw shade at people who make videos doing almost the exact same thing. You know, I get it. It's like, you have to watch a person talk. You might not like their face. I might have a punchable fucking face. I think probably a lot of us do, but you don't have to fucking watch, you know, people that don't like it. So, whatever, who cares? Who's got time for it, you know? But anyway, yeah, so a bunch of stuff to come. I just wanted to touch base with everybody out there and say hi. You know, it's been a little bit. I've been also kind of lazy. I've been fucking tired. I've been working a bunch of extra hours, so when I have free time, sometimes it's just watching fucking Orange is the New Black or whatever, and not really recording a video even when I can, you know, TBH, to be totally honest. So yeah, whole bunch of rambling, sort of non-linear. Apologize for that. But hell, I just got off my shift. It's 8 in the morning. It's my Friday night, if you will, and I'm drinking a beer. So it shouldn't make that much sense. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon. Good to talk to you and hear from you. Thanks for subbing as always. Feel free to comment. Feel free to hit me up on whatever platform you see fit. This is Pat from Ground Zero Salem. Talk to you soon.